Night janitor Tommy Rodriguez was invisible to everyone at TechFlow Industries. But when he overheard engineers struggling with a $100 million problem, he solved it in seconds. What the CEO did next shocked the entire company and changed Tommy's life forever. Before watching full story, comment below from where you watching, also like and subscribe from pre-stories. Tommy Rodriguez pushed his cleaning cart down the empty hallway of TechFlow Industries at 11:47 p.m. The building was quiet except for the hum of computers and the distant sound of his 8-year-old daughter Sophia's voice on his phone, telling him about her school day. And then Mrs. Peterson said, "My math homework was perfect, Papa." Sophia's excited voice made Tommy smile despite his exhaustion. "That's my smart girl," Tommy said softly, stopping to unlock another office. "Now go to bed. Grandma will be upset if you're tired tomorrow." Tommy had been working as a night janitor for 3 years, ever since his wife Maria died in a car accident. The job paid enough to cover rent and Sophia's needs, but barely. His mother-in-law helped watch Sophia while he worked nights, but Tommy dreamed of a better life for his daughter. At TechFlow Industries, Tommy was invisible. Employees left their offices messy, dropped trash without thinking, and never acknowledged his presence during the few times their paths crossed. But Tommy didn't mind. He had learned long ago that honest work was nothing to be ashamed of. What the employees didn't know was that Tommy had a degree in electrical engineering from Mexico. Before Maria's death, he had been trying to get his credentials recognized in the United States. But after the accident, survival became more important than dreams. Tonight was different though. As Tommy cleaned the executive floor, he could hear shouting coming from the conference room. CEO Michael Harrison's voice was the loudest. 6 months. We've had our best engineers working on this for 6 months, and we're no closer to a solution. This failure is going to cost us the Meridian contract, and that's $100 million. Tommy slowed his cleaning, not wanting to interrupt but needing to finish his work. "Sir," came another voice, "the problem is in the power efficiency algorithm. The servers keep overheating when we run the new software. We've tried everything." "Well, try harder." Harrison snapped. "I'm not losing this contract because our servers can't handle basic operations." Tommy knocked softly on the conference room door. "Excuse me, sir. Should I come back later?" Harrison looked up, frustrated. "No, just clean around us. We'll be here all night anyway." As Tommy emptied trash cans and wiped tables, he couldn't help but overhear the technical discussion. The engineers were talking about server cooling, power distribution, and thermal management. Despite himself, Tommy found his mind working on the problem. He had studied similar issues in engineering school. More importantly, he had worked in an electronics factory in Mexico where they dealt with overheating problems daily. The solution was often simpler than people thought. Tommy tried to mind his own business, but as he listened he realized they were overcomplicating everything. The answer was right there. Finally he couldn't stay quiet anymore. "Excuse me, sir," Tommy said hesitantly. Harrison looked up, annoyed. "What is it?" I think I might know how to fix your server problem." The room went dead silent. 5 high-paid engineers stared at the janitor like he had grown a second head. "I'm sorry, what?" Harrison said slowly. Tommy's heart pounded, but he thought of Sophia. "The overheating. You're trying to cool the servers from outside, right? But the problem is internal heat buildup. In Mexico, I worked with similar systems. The solution is to redistribute the processing load and create micro-intervals between operations. Like giving the servers tiny breaks to breathe." One of the engineers, Dr. Sarah Chen, leaned forward. "Wait, are you talking about implementing microsecond pause cycles in the algorithm?" Tommy nodded eagerly. "Yes, exactly. The servers don't need constant cooling. They need smart cooling. Let them rest for tiny moments and they won't overheat." The room was silent for a full minute. Then Dr. Chen grabbed her laptop and started typing furiously. "He's right," she said, her voice filled with amazement. "Look at this. If we implement pause cycles every 2.3 microseconds, the servers would have time to dissipate heat naturally. The power efficiency would increase by 40%. Harrison stared at Tommy. How do you know this?" Tommy's face flushed. "I have an engineering degree from Universidad Nacional in Mexico City. I studied thermal dynamics and power systems." "You're an engineer?" Harrison asked, stunned. Now I'm janitor. But I still remember." Dr. Chen was still typing, running calculations. "This is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Why didn't we think of this?" "Because," said another engineer slowly, "we were thinking like software people. This is hardware thinking applied to software problems." Harrison stood up and walked over to Tommy. "What's your name?" "Tommy Rodriguez, sir." "Tommy, how long have you been working here?" 3 years, sir." "And in 3 years no one ever asked about your background?" Tommy shrugged. "I'm just the janitor, sir. People don't usually ask janitors about engineering." Harrison looked around the room at his team of engineers, then back at Tommy. "Dr. Chin, how long will it take to implement Tommy's solution? If he's right, we could have it running by tomorrow afternoon. And if it works? We save the Meridian contract. We save the company." Harrison was quiet for a long moment. Tommy started to back toward the door, thinking he should return to his cleaning. "Tommy, wait," Harrison called. "Stay here. I want to see this work." The next 18 hours were the strangest of Tommy's life. He called his mother-in-law to explain he wouldn't be home, then spent the day working alongside Dr. Chen and her team, implementing his solution. Sophia called twice, confused about why Papa was still at work during the day. "I'm helping some people solve a big problem, Mija," Tommy explained. "Like when you help me figure out why the TV remote isn't working." "Are you going to get in trouble for not cleaning?" Sophia asked with 6-year-old logic. Tommy looked around at the team of engineers who were now treating him as an equal, asking his opinion on technical details. "I don't think so, sweetheart." By 3 p.m. the next day, the new algorithm was ready for testing. The entire executive team gathered in the server room as Dr. Chen initiated the program. For the first time in 6 months, the servers ran the new software without overheating. Not only that, but they ran 40% more efficiently than anyone had hoped. "Tommy," Harrison said quietly, "do you understand what you've done?" Tommy shook his head. "You've saved this company. The Meridian contract was worth $100 million. Without it, we would have had to lay off half our workforce. 300 families would have lost their income." Tommy felt dizzy. I just wanted to help." Harrison turned to address the room full of executives and engineers. "Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to meet our new senior systems engineer, Tommy Rodriguez." The room erupted in applause, but Tommy stepped back. "Wait, sir. I can't. I don't have American credentials. My degree isn't recognized here." "Tommy," Harrison said with a smile, "after what you've done, I don't care if you learned engineering from watching YouTube videos. You're brilliant, and this company needs brilliant people. But I don't have experience with American systems." Dr. Chin stepped forward. "Tommy, you just solved in 10 minutes what our team couldn't solve in 6 months. You clearly understand systems just fine." Harrison nodded. "Here's what's going to happen. We're going to sponsor your credential recognition process. We're going to pay for any additional training you need. And we're going to start you at $120,000 a year with full benefits." Tommy's legs nearly gave out. $120,000 was more money than he had ever imagined having. "Sir, I don't know what to say." "Say yes," Harrison replied. "This company owes you more than we can ever repay." But Harrison wasn't done. 3 months later, after Tommy had settled into his new role and proven himself again and again, the CEO called him into his office. "Tommy, I've been thinking about what happened that night. About how we almost lost everything because we weren't listening to the right people." Tommy waited, still not entirely comfortable in executive offices. "I want to start a program," Harrison continued. "I want to make sure we never again overlook talent just because it comes in an unexpected package. What would you think about heading up a new initiative to identify and develop overlooked employees throughout the company?" "What do you mean, sir?" "I mean, how many other janitors, security guards, cafeteria workers, or mailroom clerks have degrees and skills we don't know about? How many great ideas are we missing because we're not asking the right questions?" Tommy thought about his friend Carlos in security, who had been a teacher in El Salvador. About Maria in the cafeteria, who had studied accounting in Guatemala. I think that's a very good idea, sir." The Hidden Talents Initiative became Tommy's passion project. Within a year, they had identified 15 employees with advanced degrees or specialized skills working in entry-level positions. The company paid for credential recognition, language training, and professional development. Carlos became a corporate trainer. Maria joined the accounting department. A mailroom clerk with a physics degree became a research scientist. A security guard with an MBA became a project manager. The program didn't just change individual lives, it transformed the entire company culture. Employees began talking to each other across departments and hierarchy levels. Innovation increased as ideas came from unexpected sources. Tommy's story spread throughout the industry. He was invited to speak at conferences about unlocking hidden potential in the workplace. Harvard Business School wrote a case study about TechFlow's transformation. But for Tommy, the best part was simple. He could provide for Sophia in ways he had never dreamed possible. 2 years after that night in the conference room, Tommy stood in the same building, but now his office was on the executive floor. He was reviewing applications for the latest round of the Hidden Talents Initiative when his assistant knocked. "Mr. Rodriguez? There's someone here to see you." A young woman entered, nervous and clearly intimidated by the corporate environment. "Sir, my name is Isabel Morales. I clean offices in the downtown district. But I heard about your program and I wanted to ask. I have a degree in biomedical engineering from Columbia. I know it's not recognized here, but I wondered if there might be opportunities." Tommy smiled, remembering another night, another cleaning cart, another dream that seemed impossible. "Please sit down," he said warmly. "Tell me about your background. And don't call me sir, call me Tommy." As Isabel told her story, Tommy thought about the power of being seen, of being heard, of having someone believe in your potential even when circumstances suggest otherwise. That evening, as he tucked Sophia into bed in their new house, she asked him about his day. "Papa, do you miss being a janitor?" Tommy thought about it seriously. "You know what, Mija? I learned something important when I was a janitor. Every job is important if you do it with pride. But the most important thing is that people should have the chance to use all their talents, not just some of them. Like how I'm good at math and art? Exactly like that." Sophia was quiet for a moment. "Papa, are you going to help more people like Isabel?" "As many as I can, sweetheart." "Good," Sophia said with the simple wisdom of childhood. Everyone deserves to have their dreams come true. 5 years later, the Hidden Talents Initiative had been adopted by over 50 companies nationwide. Tommy had been promoted to Vice President of Human Development, but he insisted on keeping his engineering certification current by working on technical projects. At the annual company meeting, Harrison stood to address the employees. 5 years ago, our company almost failed. We were so focused on looking for solutions in obvious places that we nearly missed the most important solution of all, the brilliant mind of a janitor who wasn't really just a janitor. The applause was thunderous as Tommy stood up, still slightly embarrassed by public recognition. "Tommy Rodriguez didn't just save our company," Harrison continued. "He taught us that genius doesn't always come with the right resume or the expected background. He taught us to listen, to pay attention, and to value every person who walks through our doors." Harrison paused, looking directly at Tommy. "But most importantly, he taught us that the janitor cleaning your office might just be the person who changes your world." After the meeting, Tommy walked through the building, stopping to chat with employees at every level. In the lobby, he paused at a plaque that had been installed 2 years earlier. "Great solutions come from great minds. Great minds come in all forms. Never stop listening." In honor of Tommy Rodriguez and all the hidden talents among us. That night, as Tommy drove home to Sophia, now 13 and determined to become an engineer like her father, he reflected on how much had changed since that night when he overheard a problem he couldn't help but solve. He had learned that sometimes the most important moment in your life comes when you decide to speak up, even when your voice is the last one anyone expects to hear. And sometimes, if you're very lucky, the world is ready to listen. Sophia was waiting for him with her homework spread across the kitchen table, working on advanced calculus that would have impressed his old engineering professors. "How was your day, Papa?" "Good, Mija. I helped someone new today. A woman who used to clean offices just like I did." Sophia looked up from her equations. "And now?" "Now she's going to be a biomedical engineer." Sophia smiled. "Just like you went from janitor to executive?" "Just like that." "Papa," Sophia said thoughtfully, "do you think I should become an engineer too?" Tommy sat down beside his daughter, looking at her brilliant mind at work. "I think you should become whatever makes you happy, Sophia. But remember, no matter what job you have, never forget to listen to the janitor. They might just change your life." Sophia laughed. "I'll remember, Papa. I promise." And as Tommy helped his daughter with her homework, he knew that the most important lesson wasn't about engineering or corporate success. It was about the power of seeing people for who they really are, not just what their job title says they should be. Because sometimes the person who changes everything is the person everyone thought was just cleaning up.